Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. On this channel, I talk about books that I've read and the lessons I got from them. In today's video, I'll be talking about the lessons I got from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So let's get into it, guys. Lesson 1. Tiny habits make a big difference. The author defines atomic habits as tiny habits that are part of a larger system. Just like atoms are the building blocks of molecules, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. He says habits are like the atoms of our life. Each one is a fundamental unit that contributes to your overall improvement. At first, these tiny habits seem insignificant, but soon they build up on each other and fuel bigger wins that outweigh the cost of their initial investment. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in a month versus what they can achieve in 2 years if they would just stick with the right habits. Now, it doesn't matter your status right now. What matters is if your daily habits are putting you on the right path to success. We don't notice the impact of our habits until few months or years down the line. That's when we see results of good or bad habits. I remember when I first began my weight loss journey, I just went online and did some research and I started working out at home. I did my workouts 5 times a week for a few months and I didn't really notice any difference. I thought these exercises must not be working for me, but somehow I kept at it because I just got used to working out. It was now a part of my routine. But at a point, I got discouraged and I thought I was just wasting my time. I decided to take a picture to see if I would notice any difference in my appearance. So I took the picture and I discovered I had actually lost some weight. Now that motivated me to keep working out. But it was until I started getting compliments from neighbors, random people. That was when I knew my workouts had actually paid off. I was getting compliments wherever I went about my new look. I also felt great physically, emotionally, and mentally. Most times, tiny habits feel insignificant because the results are not immediate. But the more you do it, it adds up to something bigger that you can imagine. Every big thing starts small. Even the Bible says, though your beginning may be small, but your later end will greatly increase. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Getting 1% better a day makes a difference in the long run, guys. Lesson 2. Habits shape our identity and our identity shape our habits. Why are good habits hard to acquire and bad habits easy to pick up? Well, it's because most of us, when trying to acquire a new habit, focus on the outcome of the habits instead of who we want to become. So we get motivated, engage in a new habit like reading daily or working out daily, want to achieve our goal of losing weight or finishing a book. The habit becomes a hassle and we lack motivation to carry on. This happened to me during the first time I started working out. The moment I achieved my weight loss goal and I was enjoying the benefits of my new weight, I just became complacent. I was just relaxed, like, okay, I'm skinny now, so I don't need to go through the stress of working out 5 times a week. I'll do it twice a week. I did that for a while, but I just stopped shortly after. And slowly I started gaining weight. The same people that complimented me were like, you are actually gaining weight though. I responded by saying I'll start my workouts again, but I never did. And I ended up gaining almost all the weight I had lost. So when I read this chapter, I was like, wow, this is why I gained all the weight back. I just wanted to be skinny. I focused on the outcome and not on gaining a new identity. That's how most of us think. But in order to sustain a new habit like reading daily, eating healthy, or becoming fit, we need to focus on who we want to become, our identity, then the process to become that person, and then the results. So if I wanted to lose weight, I would see myself as a fit and healthy person who works out 3 to 5 times a week, who eats healthy, not because I want to become skinny, but because I'm someone who's fit and healthy. Secondly, I will engage in the process of working out weekly and eating healthy. The more I work out and eat healthy, the more it establishes the belief that I am fit and healthy. The more I do it, the belief is ingrained in me, and thirdly, the results will follow. This kind of change is much more sustainable as it is identity based and not outcome based, as it also involves our pride. Now, if I take pride in my physical appearance, I'll definitely work out, eat healthy to look a certain way because I see myself a certain way. It's part of my identity, so that will make me engage in the habits that will give me such results. Lesson 3: How to change your habits. Be conscious of your daily habits. A habit is a series of actions that have been repeated over a long period of time until they become automatic. In order to change your habits, you have to be conscious of the loop in which the habits are formed and its cue, craving, response, and reward. The cue being what triggers the habits. The craving is your desire to engage in the habits. The response will be you engaging in the habits, and your reward, what you get from engaging in such habits. For example, I like to change into something comfortable immediately I get back home. The cue is I'm back home from wherever I went to. The craving will be my desire to feel comfortable. The response will be to change into clothes I feel comfortable in. The reward is I feel comfortable and relaxed. I have been doing this for years without being conscious of what I was doing until I read this book and I just laughed. We all engage in these daily habits without being aware of them. Creating a habit scorecard is another tool of being conscious of your daily habits. So what you do is write out your daily habits. For example, wake up, scroll through phone, get up, do some chores, brush your teeth, take a shower, and all that. Now, beside every positive habit, put a plus sign. Beside every negative or ineffective habit, put a minus. Then beside every neutral habit, put an equality sign. That way you become conscious of your effective daily habits and ineffective daily habits. You can also ask yourself, is this particular habit leading me to becoming the kind of person I desire to be? That way you become self-aware of your ineffective habits. You can now work towards changing them. Lesson 4: the best ways to start a new habit. Number 1, implementation intention. It is tying a particular habit to a specific time and location. The way to do this is to write out, I will do this habit at this time, in this location. For example, I'll pray for 10 minutes by 5 a.m. in my room. If you are not sure where to start, try the first day of the week or month as motivation is high. By being specific about what you will do at a particular time, it eliminates distractions. The goal is to make the time and location of that activity obvious with enough repetition. You get an urge to do the right thing at the right time, even if you can't say why. Number 2, habit stacking. Habit stacking is a form of implementation intention. Rather than pairing a new habit with a particular time and location, you pair it with a current habit. No habit works in isolation. One habit leads to the next and then the next. Habit stacking formula is after current habits, I will engage in a new habit. For example, after I pray in the morning, I will read my Bible. The key is to tie your desired behavior into something you already do each day. Alternatively, you can create a list with 2 columns. In one column, write out the habits you engage in daily without fail. On the other column, write out the things that happen daily. For example, the sun rises, you get a message, so on and so forth. With this list, you can best decide where to fit in your new habits. Habit stacking works best when the cue is highly specific and immediately actionable. The more tightly bound your new habit is to a specific one, the better the odds is that you will know when to act. Number 3. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes our behavior. Despite our unique personalities, certain behavior tends to arise again and again under certain environmental conditions. The more obviously available a product or service is, the more likely we are to try it out. Here in Nigeria, people use Bolt or Uber because it's readily available. With just a click of a button, we like to think we are in control, but the truth is many actions we take each day are not by purposeful choice, but by obvious options. The most powerful of all human sensory abilities is vision. Visual cues are the greatest catalyst of our behavior, so a small change in what you can see can lead to a big shift in what you do. Every habit is triggered by a cue, and we are more likely to notice the ones that stand out. Where we live and work makes it easy not to do certain things because there is no obvious cue to do them. It's not easy to eat healthy when your kitchen is filled with junk food, but creating obvious visual cues can draw your attention to them. So if you want to eat healthy, stock up on healthy foods and make them visible so they are obviously available and will be the obvious option. Redesign your environment with cues that will stimulate your desired habits. Reduce exposure to negative cues that trigger ineffective habits. Lesson 5. Make your new habits satisfying. In order for any new habit to last, it must be satisfying. When I started my weight loss journey, I started dieting. I did it for a while, and I asked myself one day, is this what I'll be eating for the rest of my life? It felt like a self-imposed punishment. And then I found this tip by this trainer on Instagram where he simply stated that if you don't enjoy the foods you eat, then your dieting process will not last. And I was like, exactly. That was when I stopped dieting, and instead I just started eating whatever I wanted to eat, but in moderation. It made the process enjoyable for me to continue to stick with it. For any new habit to last, it must be enjoyable. Make it satisfying. Also, have a habit tracker to track your habits. The first few months I started working out, I would always weigh myself to see if I was making progress, and the numbers weren't moving the way I wanted them to just be. I wasn't getting the right numbers. But I noticed that my clothes were looser on me. I had more energy. So I used that as a measure for my progress at the time. It's not all about the numbers. Progress can be measured in different ways. Having an accountability partner also helps you establish your new habits, as they simply hold you accountable and ensure you are right on track to your goals. Lesson 6. Build habits that are in line with your abilities. Choose habits that align with your natural abilities and skills. Pick a game where you are favored to win. If you know that you are naturally endowed to sales and marketing, that's an inclination to being in the business world. Don't force yourself into the medical field or music industry because it's cool or whatever. Pick a game where you are naturally disposed to win and not failure. That's where your habits become sustainable. If you can't find a game where you can win, then create one where you don't have to compete or compare yourself to anyone else. You may not be great at singing, but you might be great at cooking. Focus on that. When you can't win by being better, you can win by being different. The more you excel at something, the harder it is for anyone to compete with you. A great player creates a game that focuses on their strengths and avoids their weaknesses. Habits at some point becomes boring. We all get to the point where we get bored with doing a particular thing every day. The author says professionals stick to the schedule, but amateurs let life get in the way. Guys, don't let life get in the way of being consistent. Make sure your habits are as easy as possible so you can stick with them in undesirable circumstances. Lastly, explore your skills, your abilities, and see which ones are producing maximally. Then exploit those. While you keep on exploring, avoid making one single aspect of your identity an overwhelming portion of who you are. The more you let a single belief define you, the less adaptable you'll be when life challenges you. If your identity is I'm the CEO and you have spent all your life working on the company, what happens when you sell the company? The key is to redefine yourself so that you keep important aspects of your identity even if your role changes. So, I'm the CEO translates to I'm the type of person who builds and creates things. So, guys, these are the lessons I got from Atomic Habits by James Clear. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop a comment if you've read the book. You can share with me your own personal lesson, something you learned from the book. I'll read your comments. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.